Dan Niles. Dan, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Wilfred.
Firstly, Dan, big picture questions before we get on to those specific earnings points. What about the headline market levels? Are you still expecting some kind of correction? And what do we mean by correction? 10%, 20%?
Yeah, so I think, I've been pretty consistent with my thoughts, which is you've got a lot of stimulus. I'll keep driving the market to new highs. But at some point, you're going to have the Fed warn, I think, come the summer that they're going to need to taper. And then you get a 10 to 20% type of correction. I mean, last week, to some degree, worried me because, despite the market hitting new highs, the S&P up for 4 weeks in a row now, the first time since August, you actually had some of the higher momentum sectors of the market selling off. The SPAC index was off 3%. The solar index was off 1%. A lot of the electric vehicle names outside of Tesla were down 10 to 20% last week. And even the semiconductor index, despite NVIDIA positive pre-announcement, that was down 1% last week. So you could really be walking into a sell the good news earnings season because everybody's expecting blowout results. And you saw that with the banks where a lot of them sold off despite good results.
Well, on that point, before we get on to the tech earnings previews, what is your positioning on JP Morgan? I know that was one of your top picks at the start of the year. As you said, good numbers, beat expectations, but sold off a bit.
Yeah, I mean, here's the funny thing about the banks and JP Morgan specifically. If you look at it, JP Morgan, I think, was down 55% of the time the day they reported earnings over the last 10 years. So it always goes down. We actually sold out of our JP Morgan position, figuring everybody's expecting blowout numbers. They delivered blowout numbers, and we thought the stock would probably go down. We actually started buying some of that back today. We actually bought some more energy stocks today that we had gotten smaller in back a few weeks ago because they were up in a straight line. And so I think, it's, again, I mean, we saw that with Click this morning. Also, they positively pre-announced semiconductor company cap equipment space, EPS pre-announced at $1.20, the street's at 91 cents, and I think the stock closed down 3 or 4% today. And so I think that's what you're sort of dealing with is a lot of positioning issues. But we love JP Morgan. We love the energy space. Between now and year end, we think they'll be the two best sectors in the S&P.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.